tonight we have our star appearance by Jackie Jackson. Come on up, Jackie. Woo! Big hand.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. All right, so deal of the month. This is a tax deed property that I bought in Brevard County. And the reason why I wanted to share it is because tax deed auctions, I think, is one of the acquisition strategies that are not really utilized by a lot of real estate investors. And it provides a great opportunity. If you know how to do the research and know what you're looking for, you can get really great deals at tax deeds. So here we go. So this is a property that I bought. I went to Queen of Tax Deeds 2-day training with Sandra Edmond. And my exit strategy going in, I'm always thinking about wholesaling. So acquisition or purchase price is always going to be at its lowest because my exit strategy is always to wholesale it to another investor. That's the house right there. So this house was very unique because it had 2 structures on one lot, which is really cool. So the main house had 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and the second house had a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, like loft. Really nice. So a lot of people sometimes think that tax deed properties are like junk properties, you know, and they are not. As you can see, this property here was in pretty good condition. That's the, kitchen, dining room area, the master bathroom, and even the master bedroom had hardwood floors. How cool is that? All right, so here's the math, what everybody wants to know. What did I make on this property? All right, so it's a single family home with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms with the combination of the 2 structures on it. The total square feet, according to property appraiser's website, 1,200, a little bit over that. Built in 1953 in Brevard County in the city of Palm Bay. All right, so the ARV on it was $60,000. I got it at the tax deed auction. I was a successful bidder for $23,400, and yeah, it was a good deal. $23,400, and it was an aggressive bidder that every time I bid like $100, like the other investor would bid another $100, and by the time I got to this amount, I was like, please don't bid anymore, because I didn't have any more money, right? So I was like, please stop bidding, stop it, so I could just win. All right, anyway, so I did. So my debt service, and the debt service is something that you may or may not have as an expense, but here's how it worked out for me. When you buy at a tax deed, you get a tax deed itself, and it's not necessarily marketable title. It actually isn't marketable title. So what you would need to do as your exit strategy is to do a quiet title, or you can do a tax title certification, or you can quit claim it over to your buyer. Well, I chose to do the tax title certification. So that is the charge that I paid for that service in order for me to be able to sell on a special warranty deed to my buyer. In any event, the property was really cool, and I sold it in 7 days. So that's the cool thing about this deal, is that you don't have to hold on to them for a really long time. So my buyer purchased this or sent me wire transfer $35,000, the whole thing, non-refundable, which is actually really nice when it's non-refundable. So he was a really serious buyer, and that's my net profit there. So that's pretty cool. I think so. Y'all don't think so? How many of these y'all gotta do? I mean, y'all laughing like $11,000 is like a bag of chips. It ain't a bag of chips, you know? If you do 2 or 3 in a month, or, how many of them do you gotta do to experience the financial freedom that you're looking for, right? So this is my deal. This is my tax deed deal that I'm sharing. So let's see. Oh, and it was right across the street from the water, from the bay. It was really nice. So I want to say thank you to Sandra Edmond queen of tax deeds. I think her class is coming up pretty soon. You guys want to go on the CFRI.net's calendar and take a look at that. And then Edeline, she is a general member for CFRI. She and I drove together in Brevard all day and looked at 21 houses that were on that list to be auctioned. And we stopped by and we took a picture of all of those houses, and I ended up buying one out of the 21 that I saw. So I borrowed her kids to take the pictures while we were driving. So I just want to give her a quick shout out too. Thank you all. Does anyone have any questions? Woohoo, Tom.
Wait.
So how long did it take you to get that done from start to finish?
Okay, so from acquisition, so when you buy the property, you had 24 hours to go down to the county's clerk of courts to actually, pay for it. You have 24 hours to do that. So I did that and contracted in 7 days, 100% of the purchase price on deposit and on escrow at the title company. And the tax title service, that took 45 days for processing, as opposed to a quiet title, which can take a lot longer. So that's why I didn't choose that method.
Okay, and second question, is that your Walgreens hat?
It is my Walgreens hat. For those who didn't know, I saw a yucky house this week and I caught fleas. I know, I'm too pretty for fleas, but it did happen. And I had to run out of the house and get my bug spray, and then I didn't run. I jumped in my car, which is also a bad idea because now I'm transferring the fleas into my car, right? And I drove to Walgreens and changed. I got a Walgreens special, so this was my hat from Walgreens. Anyway, but thank you for bringing that back up.
Okay, next question.
Next question. Anyone else? Oh, right over there.
Oh, he's too far away. I have a broken toe.
So the house was vacant?
Yes, it was. Sometimes tax deed properties may have an occupant in them, and if there is someone living in it, sometimes it may be a tenant, or sometimes it may be owner-occupied, but don't be afraid to knock on the door, introduce yourself, and try to find out their story. Are they planning on bringing their taxes current before the auction? But this one happened to be vacant.
And the previous occupants left it in a condition where you didn't have to do any rehab?
The way how I do my exit strategy is on my contracts, it says broom swept condition. So what that really means is that the way how I got it is exactly how I'm selling it. I'm not doing anything to that property except sweep it. That's it.
Below marketable. If you'd cleaned it up some, could you have gotten more money for it then?
I'm sure I could have. This was a great property. It actually would have cash flowed immensely for me if I kept it. However, it was very far away from where I reside, 2 counties over. So it's not something that I wanted to maintain or, have responsibility for based on its distance.
Okay, another question. Okay. Wait, I think this is a loaded question here.
I know, that's the queen.
Tell him where you got the money.
I wasn't going to tell him that, Sandra. All right, so where did I get the money, right? That's a big deal. I don't advocate this by any means at all, okay? So that is my disclosure. I don't advocate you using this method to buy properties. But I actually bought the property on a credit card because Brevard County allows you to purchase on a credit card. So I was able to, I wanted to sell it in 30 days so I wouldn't have a payment on that credit card, but it actually closed in 45, so I had one credit card payment. So that was pretty much, I had to pay some interest, which is horrible.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Did you get like 3% cash back for houses?
I know. And it wasn't even like a cash back card. I really should have did on a cash back card, but I didn't.
That's great. I heard you talk about a whole bunch of terms that beginning investors won't understand. Like, for example, the difference between a tax deed and a tax certificate and getting possession and quiet title and all that complicated stuff. So I'd just like to address where you learned all of that stuff.
Well, I learned it from Sandra. Sandra, raise your hand. There she goes in the back of the room. That's the queen of tax deeds. She has a 2-day course where she teaches the strategy of how to acquire properties at tax deed auctions, if that's what you want to do. I highly recommend it.
Okay, big hand for Jackie.